Lloyd, you okay?
Wool. Host. Annual.
Host. Annual.
Annual. Meeting of.
Yeah. It's a big one. International Preservation Society tomorrow night.
Alright guys, let's go. So I'll pause it throughout the video, give you my impressions, and that's pretty much it. Then we'll talk about some of the skills and who's gonna get demoted, you know, the normal stuff. Let's go. Fire Emblem Heroes. New heroes join the battle. FE7.
Only one can wield the sword.
Alright, here we go. Karla is the first unit shown up on this trailer, and also the one that you see on the thumbnail on YouTube. It also means that Carol's sister is finally in the game, and also, you know what's the most amazing thing? Bartra's waifu, boys. Bartra's wife is here. That's a pretty good looking waifu, I'm not gonna lie. So, good job, Bartra. Another sword infantry unit. What's going to truly set her apart from the vast pool of sword units that we already have, right? Well, I guess we'll find out. I don't recognize the voice actor, so that's kind of cool that they might be adding additional talent. I think the art is splendid and fitting to the character. Let's take a look at the skills. So, Vassal's Blade. We're Yu-Gi-Oh now, okay? That's some long wall of text. These are gonna get just longer and longer every single time a new unit's released. They're going to have to like make the game only playable on tablets, or you're not gonna be able to see the text on the screen anymore from the amount of text we're getting on these skills. More importantly though, okay, so it's got that cooldown reduction similar to Nameless Blade. Makes sense. Same as Carol and Fur. I mean, you want to keep that consistent thing. The new effect we have here on Vassal's Blade, though, is the greater your speed, the more damage you do. And this is insane. We can already kind of get from the first impression that she is going to be a very speedy unit. I mean, Carol's very fast, Fur is generally fast. So, you know, we can just look at the family tree. Let's not talk about Bartra, but but I mean, generally she's going to be really fast. But the new mechanic is definitely cool here. She's going to be doing a lot of bonus damage. And a lot of armors, other than maybe Zelgis and Amelia, are actually quite slow. So we can expect that that weapon is going to have some great utility if you do end up going into using her into like higher arena tiers. Which of course she's going to probably have 163 BST. And if you give her like distant counter, she's going to score just as well as like Effie would. Or Drog, so you can definitely use her higher up there. I don't expect to get any extra BST on top of that, but that's really good. Draconic Aura, nothing, that doesn't really tell me much. She might have good attack, but she also might not. So, whatever. What I do appreciate here, though, is that Wrath has shown up on a red unit now. The red pool literally just gets better and better in terms of units they keep adding to it. I'm glad that if she stays in the 5-star pool, that that's just another pity break that you might end up getting that is really good. And that's also one of the things I always talk about. It's like, don't pull on permanent banners, don't pull for Karla, unless she's one of your favorite characters, of course, but don't pull for her, because if you get pity broken later, you know, you won't be upset, because I don't think anyone is going to be upset about getting a Wrath. And of course we have even Speed Wave, which is again just continuing that trend which Ishtar brought forward with odd attack waves. So now we have an odd skill and an even skill, so you kind of have maybe more consistency there if you use both skills, especially for like blade mages and such. One thing I did want to mention, and this may blindside people of course, so the previous banner when we had Elena and we had Ares, you looked at that banner and you're like, oh my god, you know, Lena is going to get demoted for sure. She's just a generic dancer. She doesn't really have much. She has hone attack, like, and all she has is like safeguard and some blaze. I think it was Firestorm dance. So it's like, oh, you know, nothing special. She's going to get obvious demoted. But then Ares got demoted. And okay, so one consistent thing that I've noticed throughout these banners, these new units coming out, is the unit on the front, on the thumbnail, this is really minor, but if you look at the thumbnail on YouTube for these units that keep coming out, the thumbnail unit does not get demoted. So the previous one had Lene on it, and she didn't get demoted. And this time we have Karla, which again might get demoted if we, you know, if we won't get some surprises, but probably won't get demoted if we're going to use maybe a pattern like that. Another thing I wanted to mention though is units with 4 skills on them have been demoted before, and preference weapons don't matter at this point. So that's pretty cool. We had, M. Morgan had 4 skills on him, and I thought for certain when I saw it that he would get demoted regardless of whether he had a preference weapon or not. This isn't always the case with the thumbnail theory. I just think it's kind of like maybe something they may choose not to go forward with. It's just a minor hypothesis. I haven't looked through all the thumbnails, so maybe there was a unit that did get demoted through that. But either way, just something to consider. So, moving on.
How can I refuse a fight?
That's a lot of damage. The Hurricane.
I can't win in a fair fight.
Is he a wrestler? No, I'm just kidding. Legault, because that's cool. If you know about it, this basically puts us with, I think, all the thieves other than Layla from FE7. So we had Matthew, we had Legault now, and Jafar was like the assassin from FE7. So this kind of completes that trio of units of thieves. I might have forgot one, but this is cool. I think I did actually use Legault, and I do like him. The art makes sense. He's like a spy and, like, you know, deceptive and such. So good art there for sure. Again, I don't really recognize the voice actor, but I can welcome more colorless units definitely being in the pool, whether they're 5-star exclusive or 4-star or not. It doesn't matter. Either way, I can welcome more colorless units coming in. So let's take a look at what he's got.
Oh, I use trickery.
Okay, so first thing we see, of course, the Cleaner Plus. So his weapon is obviously a wet towel. I'm just going to clean myself. It smells pretty good. Cleaner Plus, okay. Oh wait, what? That's not his weapon? Oh, I'm sorry guys, my bad. My bad, I thought that was his weapon. Okay, sorry. Anyways, the Cleaner is essentially what a reverse blade is. It says adds total bonuses on foe to damage dealt during combat. What that means is if Nino is on the enemy team and she's buffed, Legault is coming in there and being like, I don't care what buffs you have, here's a big cleaner in your face and you're dead. Okay, that's pretty awesome. I hope that he has a pretty decent stat spread, at least an attack to make use of that weapon. But even if he doesn't, we still have Soth, and we still have Kagro that could use this weapon as well, because indicated by the plus sign, it means that it is inheritable. I'm also going to maybe guess that this is probably refinable as well. It's been a while since I've seen a plus weapon that hasn't been refinable, like newly released. I don't think there has been, so that's cool. You also got the debuffs effect. So not only is this the first dagger where you actually have an effect where you might one-shot a unit, depending on whether it gets buffs or not, but you're also debuffing the enemy team, and that gives you some good utility. So I really appreciate the fact that these weapons aren't just like Brave Dagger or something. They're not just like, hey, I'm gonna throw my dagger twice, and they're the same as, you know, Brave. They're the same as bow users at that point. Like, that just sounds dumb. So these kind of effects, I'm glad that it is like this. Okay, Glimmer, sure. That implies he probably has good attack. But if it's giving him bonus damage off his weapon anyways, it means that Glimmer would scale pretty well. Swift Strike. This was previously on Summer Corrin, so it's kind of interesting that it's finally in the pool. I have not been able to find a use for this, but I assume that it's here because he's going to be after mages, because mages are usually the target of buffs. Like Blade Mages want a buff, so I guess it's to like make sure he doubles them or avoids doubles from them when he's initiating, and giving him some extra res if they counterattack. Something like that. I don't think it's the greatest A skill. Even something like Fury or Swift Sparrow, Death Blow, maybe Life and Death. It depends what his stat spread is. Could all definitely be better than this. So not exactly the greatest. But for arena scoring, I appreciate another 240 SP skill being in the A slot, if nothing else. Now, Attack Tactic. Awesome skill given to us. Previously on Lilina and Sigbert. Now Sigbert is pretty rare, he's also in the red pool, he's hard to get, and yeah, so like you can't really reliably pick up Attack Tactic, and Attack Tactic is super important if you want to make like a mixed tactic team comp, especially using Blade Mages. So, you know, Erica really appreciates Attack Tactic, and so does a Blade Mage that she might be on the same team as. So hopefully, if Legault does get demoted to 4-star, which seems to be the case, just the fact that he doesn't have a preference weapon, he's not on the thumbnail, he has 4 skills, all lead to imply that this might be their solution of making the colorless pool more appetizing for those of you that go for it later when we pull.
Gotta fight dirty.
Wait, that makes no sense. You have the Cleaner. Why are you fighting dirty? What? Cleaner? Dirty? His weapon should have been called like the duster or something.
A horse with wings is called a Pegasus.
Okay, yeah, a horse on wings is called a Pegasus. Is that your way of learning to read, Nino? So, green tome, she kept her same color. She's a Pegasus, obviously indicated by the flyer icon beside the tome. Looks like she got like some sort of armor upgrade, like she's like a sage on a Pegasus, I guess. The art is interesting. I guess she looks a little bit more mature. Cool. I'm not the hugest fan of Nino, but another alt could have been somebody else. Should have been somebody like Pent, in my opinion, but hey, or maybe Urk. But you know, it's like why Reinhardt's in the game too, so.
Bet you didn't know that, did ya?
Are you Felicia? Alright, so pretty indicator right away that this is likely not going to be a demoted character because she has 5 skills, she has a preference weapon, she has a new skill. There's a lot of indicators here that she's probably not going to get demoted, okay? Definitely big signal right there. Sword Reinhardt didn't get demoted, so I don't expect new Nino to get demoted either. So anyways, Giga Excalibur grants 3 speed. We know that Nino's already fast, so I guess she's gonna be even blazing faster. Blazing blade, blazing faster. See what I did there? Anyways, same effect as Karla, except instead of the cooldown reduction that Karla has, she has speed 3. So yeah, hers is a ranged weapon, Karla's a melee weapon. Generally, it's safer to be using like Nino's weapon because I think Nino would be faster than Karla, but I think both of them are going to be pretty fast. Sword Masters and super fast mage. Anyways, we have Moonbow. Great. Good base kit. Doesn't require much investment. Probably going to be useful as it is. Swift Sparrow on the A. Another 5-star exclusive unit with Swift Sparrow. It's literally on like everybody now. We have like every single color has Swift Sparrow now. It's like Brave Lynn, Swift Sparrow, Ishtar, Swift Sparrow, Flying Nino, Swift Sparrow, and Horse Erica, Swift Sparrow. Guess what, guys? You can't have this skill unless you go for 5-star exclusives. So I don't know when we're gonna get it in the 4-star pool. I don't honestly think it's like the greatest skill. It's pretty good, but it's by now it should have been demoted. Anyways, Aerobatics 3. This is kind of interesting. It's like flyer formation, but instead of being strictly for flyers, it's going to be used for infantry, armored, and cavalry. And this could be extremely dangerous, like extremely dangerous. If you guys know how AI works, a unit's going to attack, you know, if the unit can't counterattack. So what this could mean is AI could actually, like there could be an armor unit in like diagonally from Nino. She could end up aerobatics in and then like hitting your unit, and then if she's also running guidance, that exact unit, it doesn't have to be armor, that armor unit could also guidance in and follow up and basically kill you even though you were out of range of all those units. You could be 2 spaces away from an armor and Nino could be diagonally from that armor and she could aerobatics in and then she could guidance in the armor and completely destroy you. It's gonna be some crazy like AI time, like people are gonna get caught by this, including myself, and it is gonna definitely, you know, make me sweat in terms of how do you deal with this sort of thing. Thankfully, you would need to be fighting against like mixed team comps, so there's going to be at least some weaknesses there where the armors may not be able to keep up because of armor march. But yeah, that's pretty scary stuff. Definitely some scary stuff, unless they have it. But anyways, that's insane. Definitely good skill both for player usage, and the enemy AI is definitely going to use this in a way that's going to make us scared. Going to lose a lot of matches to this. Speed Smoke and C. Okay, so we have like Fallen Tegumi, and Zygarde also has this, so it's just like more really good premium skills. If you pull Nino, there's like hundreds of things you could use her for. Using her herself, or you know, good fodder in some way. Aerobatics again is a great skill you can use on plenty of units. You don't necessarily need to keep it. You could just change it out for Desperation, for instance, because she's going to have blazing speed as it is. So yeah, Nino's going to likely be a very good unit. But let's look at the rest of this before we kind of talk about whether it's worth it or not.
Fly, Pegasus!
I want to show something very important.
Fly,
Open book. Open book? What? You can't read? Why are you opening that book? You learn to read?
Wool. Host. Annual.
Host.
Annual. An annual meeting of
The.
The?
Yeah.
Pegasus!
Lloyd and Linus. She said Linus, so I think Linus is confirmed based off that. And that looks like Canis. If you look at the tome itself, though, that's a roar owl. So that probably means that we're gonna get Canis and Linus in some form coming up soon. Not on the banner, probably as free units. Canis is definitely a really cool dude. That's exciting. Roar Owl finally available that isn't 5-star locked. And there's a lot of good units that could use Roar Owl well. Winter Tharja comes to mind. So here it is, coming up in a few days after this video. Last things I want to say, as always, whether it's worth it to be getting these units or not. So, yes, they have new skills, shiny skills, good looking art, decent voice acting, new alts for really popular characters. Yeah, as always, it's really appealing, and if it wasn't, then they wouldn't design this, right? So here's what I have to say. If you play with a low budget, you're free to play, it's never a good idea to be summoning here unless you're a collector or you literally Legault is your favorite unit of all time and you gotta have him and you've been saving orbs for a while for him. That's usually the reasons where it's like, okay, that makes sense. It's not exactly the most efficient use of orbs, but it is what you gotta do. Now, if you're targeting one of these units, it is about 100 orbs plus on average to pull a unit, okay? That means that you've already had to save tons of orbs, considering the legendary banner that just passed, considering the bridal units that have just been released before this, and even the rerun of the bridal units. And then we're gonna have another legendary banner coming up, and it could have Myrrh on it, and it could have Male Grima on it, it definitely will have Winter Tharja on it, it will probably have NY Camilla on it. Yeah, there's some really good stuff coming, guys. And green new legendary hero, again, greens are usually very good unit types, so there's some big stuff coming, and it's, in my opinion, like using hundreds of orbs on this is usually not a good idea. Just letting you know right away. These units are on a permanent banner. They will show up in the pool. They will get in there. One of them will get demoted. It could be a shocker. It could be Karla. Are you ready to spend hundreds of orbs for Karla and then all of a sudden she gets demoted and boom, who knows what happens? Maybe Legault doesn't get demoted and you think he's going to get demoted. You know, if they came out with that Ares surprise, what's stopping them from giving us another shocker? So guys, you know, consider that if there's some seasonal units coming up with the summer as well, and you know green comes there, and you just might end up with a pity breaker Nino then, and you're gonna be like, wow, you know, why did I spend hundreds of orbs here when I just got her as a pity break in the next banner? Or even a couple months from now you'll end up seeing these units in one way or another. That's all I gotta say. It's usually the same story every single time, but I feel like with, you know, new people always coming around, I gotta make sure that that statement is held and it's held true for you guys to consider. Okay, so as always, thanks for checking out the vid. You know, if you want to tell me what you're going to do below or what you've learned from this, feel free to tell me in the comments, and you can give me a like if you think that you can read like Nino can. Oh wait, just give me a like. Okay, whatever. See you in the next video. Peace.